Hello everyone, Nordic Beast here, and welcome back to the Shipyard. So I've spent the last 2 nights or so working on the big carrier you see there on the left. The one on the right is my Hand of Tyr carrier, which I built, and I think I showed it off, and I think it was also episode 15, the same episode I showed off my Rune bomber that I was talking about in my last double episode. So this is one of my favorite ships of all time. So recently somebody had messaged, I want to say it was Tucker O'Donnell, about me building a carrier. So I figured I'd show off that, yes, I have actually built a carrier before, and my eventual goal is to refit it to be a bit more up-to-date with some of my more modern ships. First off, I would like to put either a proper bridge, like right here, just even up, or maybe back further if I can. I'd have to look at the internals on this thing. Originally, it only had like 4 jump drives, I think this thing had. And then I put a bunch in because there was a weird glitch at the time where as you locked more and more ships onto a carrier, it would cut its jump range. So let's take a look. Jump. Oh yeah, this one's got what? 2, 4, 6, 8 jump drives. 3,322 kilometer jump. It's actually not too bad a thing though, like to have this big a ship being able to go that far with that many ships. So I once built a ship called the Odin, and the Odin, man, it's the first big ship I had ever tried, and it had like the same layout where it had this top open deck with a bunch of connectors, and then internally it had a bunch of bays on either side, and it had an elevator that came down to go inside. It did not have this big front open area like this, like the front of the ship was capped off. And then this was my more modern design, which in between I built a modded carrier, which is actually in my very first Shipyard episode. Oh god, that is so terrible. I still watch it from time to time, like, oh man, I had no confidence, and like, hello everyone, this is Nordic Beast, and I'm super quiet, and blah 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 blah. But anyway, and it was called the Raven, and the Raven I designed as a light carrier for my original modded Valkyrie. So, which, if you guys go look, I have, what's it called, playlists now on my YouTube page. Woo! So, anywho, yeah, I figured I'd just show this off. I will be updating and modernizing, and then probably posting this for you guys to play with. I've had it forever, and yeah, it actually flies really well. One of my favorite aspects about it are internal Gatling turrets. I think that's awesome. Like, who needs interior turrets when you could just slap a Gatling turret in there? Okay, so I've got this big sucker you see here that looks a bit more like an actual aircraft carrier. I was highly influenced by Seth, yet again. Seth's designs are just so pretty. But anyway, this he had made a like escort carrier design, and there was aspects about it I really liked, such as like the shape of the hull, like right here. I really enjoyed that, like how it kind of bulged out. And this thing is far from done, by the way. This is still like a work in progress, and this is just more an experiment in a different design of carrier as opposed to just this, which again, if you look, it's very simple. You just have storage here, and then, you know, landing bay and connectors up here, and that's it. So this one's a bit different in the fact that it does actually have connectors up top. If you look here, I have 6 Valkyries up here, yep, and then 1 Salford shuttle, and they're all docked in with their dampeners turned off. Couldn't think of the word dampener for some reason. So, and yeah, all these have connectors all here, and I have these little side Gatling turrets. I'm not sure if that's all I want on here, but I mean, honestly, if your carrier has to defend itself, you're doing something wrong. That's what an escort fleet is for, and what your fighters are for, and what have you. Alright, so let's take a quick look inside here. So the aesthetics, more than anything, have taken me the most amount of time. Open this. So It's causing a bit of a... Anytime I'm doing any... God, those are loud. Anyway, anytime I do anything in this world, even though I just went through a Space Master and deleted any bits and bobs floating around, I had to delete my Thor Sif, and Balder because it was causing lag. Like, right now, I'm pretty steady. Let's take a look here. So you see, the sim speed bounces, but it's still up to 1.0 at its highest. When I start moving, I drop to 0.5. When I start moving this carrier. So anyway, you see I got a couple of longbows in here, and I have a couple of berserkers, and then this is an older, it's not that old, I mean, it's maybe a few months old I made this. It's meant as a welding ship. And I thought that would be perfect for this ship because it's reactor powered. It's got, I think, reactors stuffed in there. And large cargo container plus 3 welders. And that's more than enough for this thing. Which it would allow you to do repairs on your ships, as well as your carrier, yada yada yada. But as you see, it's got the little cubby holes here. Now the reason I have these plates, the catwalks, instead of just coloring the floor, because if I color the floor, you'll see it on the outside. So I had to, now like on this inside part here, it's not a problem, but the hull gets thinner as you get further out. That's the other thing. This is all light armor. There is no heavy armor or blast doors because I wanted something lightweight as well as easy to build. Overall, most of this, all these blocks like on the right, this is all aesthetics. This is just me trying to go for a look. The Hand of Tyr is all about function, which I think turned out really, really well. So, which is why I think in the end, I will finish that carrier, but I think the Hand of Tyr is still the better option. I think I've got too many connectors, so I might cut down the amount of connectors by maybe a quarter or so, and mainly to remove like the ones like right up here. I mean, if I put a fighter here, like a Valkyrie, its nose goes right to the door, and then you got trouble getting past it and all that, so yeah. Well, I'll give you guys a small internal tour here. Well, also I can show off, like, I've got the 4 thrusters plus the 4 small thrusters back here. We've got 4 up front. I've got 2 embedded in the side, 1 on each side underneath. Oh, look at that. You can see the coloration coming through there. And then these 2 up here. Like I said, I got the 4 up front. I gotta admit, this reminds me a lot of Wiseman's Whale Shark, this opening, like how I did this, but it was just coincidence. I mean, again, I do like the big open bays on my carriers, but this one's got like the deck that extends off the front as opposed to that, just to give it like that realistic, or not realistic, but modern carrier look. Originally this was actually 1 block lower. I added 1 block up so I could properly convey in the connectors up here, and I could color this without it coloring the inside. So, alright, let's, well, you know what? I can show you both entrances. So I have a deck entrance and a hangar entrance. So here's the deck entrance. Very simple. Boop. Boop this door too. Boop. Alright. So this is something else I've seen that I talked about last episode, actually, that I saw Seth do. So here is our very straightforward flight deck. Not much to it. Which, this is very barren right now. I would add more, I will add more seats. I'll add like a captain's chair as well as LCD panels and things of that nature. So we come down here. This is just the airlock where we came in. Alright, so we come down. And, okay, so this side is the short side. I'll show you why. It's only got the 1 room in there. So you come in here and you see we got assemblers. I put 1 air vent in here so that every time I open that damn door, it's not just like bursting with like air coming in here. So got the 2 reactors. We got a couple of jump drives. I think it's 4 total. Yeah, 4. Got let's see. I think under here we have 2 cargo containers, 2 hydrogen tanks, and then the 4 assemblers. So, and then this wall here, the whole reason this wall is here is because the next room is actually the med bay on this side. Give you guys a quick tour. here. Med bay, cryo bays. And of course the oxygen vent here, which leads to the Gatling turrets. Can we see it here? Yeah. Yeah. No, we cannot. Okay, whatever. Alright, so coming through here. This is like a little room on either side. It's basically like bed and shower type area. You get a little cargo container. So that's just individual room. Like there was only a couple block space in there. I'm like, yeah, I can make it into a tiny room. So this crosses over the deck. In the Hand of Tyr, I have like an area that crosses the hangar, but it goes underneath the deck, which I really like, by the way. So this is nothing as of right now. I haven't done anything with this area yet. And pretty much this and like the next two rooms, I think, are identical. So not much going on here yet. All the way to the back. And we have one smaller kind of wedged in room. I was thinking about making this like a, I don't know, like a captain's room. So like this would be for one person, while the other ones would be for like multiple crew. Make like a commons area or like a, I don't know what the word, I'm like a cafeteria, something like that. Okay, so we come to this little airlock, and this is how we get into the hangar. Which, this is such a space saver being able to do this. It's just difficult to make it look pretty. But yeah, that's pretty much it for this thing. Now, both the Hand of Tyr and this thing, I did the same thing with the center upside down gravity generator right in the middle of the ship. Seems to work well, so, you know, if it's not broke, don't fix it. And yeah, so I will finish that carrier, but it's not quite what I'm looking for. And the Hand of Tyr is very close to what I am looking for. In some ways, I feel the Hand of Tyr is a bit expensive. So I will go through and change a lot of it. I may actually change the inside, remove like the heavy armor you guys see here. Originally, at one point I tried to change it so that it had blast doors, but it's kind of a pain in the ass if you have something like the Valkyrie. Here, let me show you. Come on, load up. There we go. Right, so let's say Valkyrie. Oops. That one here. So you look, and the Valkyrie's connector is flush with everything else. So if you have... sorry, I haven't loaded up my G menu yet, so here we go. Alright, so say you have a blast door block, it comes down. So when you try to land, your landing gear won't connect, only the connector will. And that causes some issue even with modern space engineers, which overall is getting better, a lot better, but it's not quite there yet. And I think I will make an update to the Valkyrie here, which I will just show real quick. So originally this was part of the Valkyrie design. If you guys ever followed like the original design for it, it had these. It had thrusters under the wing. Now the reason it had that was originally I wanted this to be atmospheric. Well, turns out ion engines don't work in the atmosphere particularly well. So, but now with this, it would work well on a moon. So actually I haven't tested it yet, so let's take a quick test. Go ahead and come over to the moon here. Alright, let's back it up. Teleport. Which, so by the way, I may be doing a couple episodes with my friend Tommy that I work with. He is a big gaming guy. Like he plays lots of games, but he does have Space Engineers, but he doesn't really play it much. And since I have like 3,500 hours in this damn game, I figured I could teach him a thing or two. And my idea is that I could teach some basics, so people just starting the game would have a bit of like a tutorial. I mean, other than the tutorial the game actually comes with. But alright, let's see. I hope this thing lands alright, because it would be worth... And the weight's pretty much the same. And I think it might be just a tiny bit heavier. Man, I miss proper dampeners in the game rather than the ×1. It does cause, or it does give like a bit of a challenge to make a fighter effective, but I still miss it. And even the ×5 worked fine, though I wasn't happy at the time. Alright, so here we go. This is much better. Like, I was able to land a Valkyrie before, but this really helps. So yeah, I think I will... Ooh, don't shoot her! Yeah, this is a lot better than it was. Okay. Yeah, I think I will update this model of the Valkyrie. Because I still have my original model. So we'll take a quick look at that. Which I'm not sure if I've ever shown off, like, the difference here. Which, actually, this... Oh, no, this is a modified variant of it. Let's try again. Valkyrie. Here we go. Alright. Since this is one of my favorite ships I've ever made. Okay, if you look like back here, the tail design is obviously different. This one's much more up to date. Got a camera mounted up here. The jumpstart reactor is up here. Coloration's vastly different. Which I believe some of the internals I kind of jumbled around a bit. But the biggest is, yeah, the tail section. Which, honestly, I think this looks so much better. I'm happy I went with this design. And it's easier on the camera, too. Which, did this one have just the one camera? Yeah, it did, okay. I've, you know, toyed with this design so much. And even this, like, these little blocks here, I think look so good to shape out the thrusters. It turned out quite well. I'm curious, what's the weight difference? It's 28,000. The other one's almost 29,000. So it looks better, shapelier, prettier, much better coloration. So yeah, that's Valkyrie aside. That's what I've been working on. Are the lovely carriers. Let's hop back to that real quick. Where are they? Up here. Here we go. So yeah, like I said, these are what I've been working on. I will finish this, and then I will update the Hand of Tyr. God, that looks so pretty in the dark like that with the deck all lit up. And I still don't have a name for this, so I don't know. What do you guys think? Which carrier do you like better, the new one or the Hand of Tyr? Like I said, I personally feel the Hand of Tyr is a bit more practical. It still needs some updating, but it's more practical, more what I'm gunning for. I think it's a bit heavier, if I'm not mistaken. But it has more thrust, more range, and yeah. So let me know what you guys think. Also, I always love hearing suggestions on things to build in the future. Somebody said to build a lunar fortress, and I started on one the other day. It didn't turn out too well, so I'm going to try again. And I'm building it in here. So the whole thing is, like, I have my ground base down there. That's where my last episode was. Let's see. And Trondheim. I have a station there, and then UN Lunar Base. That's what I was starting on, but I ended up deleting it. I was trying to go with like my usual like hangar shape, and it looked weird where I was at. So next I'm going to try and cover up a crater with a base, so I can fill in the actual crater itself. So we'll see how that goes. So yeah, if you guys have any suggestions for the future, I'd like to hear more. So thanks you so much for watching. I'll see you guys next time.